You may or may not know this, but I am a pretty big Pokemon fan. So when the LEGO group reached out to me asking if I'd like to build some Pokemon LEGO sets, I was over the moon. So thank you to the LEGO group for being today's sponsor and letting me put my LEGO building skills to the test. They sent me these 3 sets to build: Eevee, Pikachu and a Pokeball, and the trio of Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. They're all marked as adult sets because while no one is stopping you from building these if you're younger than 18, they are quite the challenge and have a ton of pieces. But let's start this off by looking at the smallest set, Eevee. This Eevee is made up of 587 pieces, a pretty solid starting point to get into the swing of things. The instruction manual shares information about Eevee as a LEGO set and also Eevee as a Pokemon. On one page we've got its type and abilities in game, and on the other we have its articulation in the LEGO set. It also features screenshots of Pokémon Yellow and Pokémon Legends Arceus, while also referencing its various evolutions. When I started building this, I thought I would be able to finish this set in maybe an hour.
But yeah, we're gonna unbox all these today and try to build them all in one day. Will it be all done in one day? I don't know.
No. I also didn't realize that my camera was constantly autofocusing, so my apologies for that, but that will not be a thing forever. This is my first unboxing video on the channel, or at the very least of this caliber. A rare occurrence, which I guess kinda fits with the theme of rare occurrences on my channel. But I'm grateful for the opportunity to try new things. Eevee was a really pleasant set to build, and getting each leg done and clicking it into place was very satisfying. I also noticed that there are quite a lot of orange, blue, and yellow blocks hidden inside it. I'm sure this was done just as a way to make instructions a bit easier to read visually, which as someone who can't visualize things, that is very useful. But I also like the color choice because it makes me think of the first 3 Eevee evolutions, Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon. Once I had attached the tail, I got a little distracted by all the moving joints, but eventually got back to the task at hand, making Eevee's head. And this is where we get a nice little nod towards Eevee's evolutions. Each of these teeny tiny LEGO pieces match the color of one of Eevee's evolutions, which I think is a really nice detail. So those go in Eevee's head, we build and attach the ears, and our LEGO Eevee is complete. This LEGO set is very poseable with so many articulated joints to move around. This is a set I was looking forward to the most, and it does not disappoint. Next up is the Pikachu and Pokeball set. This comes in at 2,050 pieces, so this one's gonna take much longer to build. Upon opening the box, I was immediately thrown off by the amount of not at all Pikachu colors.
This is Pikachu, right?
And after getting all the pieces out, I realized that no, I would not be building this in 2 hours. Not 3, no, I'm a slow builder. I take my time, and that time is 12 hours. Before building, I took the time to nerd out over seeing a Safari Zone Pikachu included in the manual, and then I got to work. Also, I don't know about you guys, but I'm the kind of person who likes to arrange the pieces based on the steps in the instructions. Maybe this is why it took me so long to build, but it was satisfying for me. Obviously, Pikachu was one of the first Pokemon I was introduced to. It makes sense. A lot of pictures of me enjoying Pokemon in different ways as a kid have become lost media. Years ago, my family's photo collection randomly vanished from the family computer, which was an absolute tragedy and still is. But my grandparents kept a solid amount of drawings I made as a kid, so this survived. I know, it's cursed, but I mean, I was a kid. This was Pikachu to me. Anyways, I digress. Over time, Pikachu started to take shape, although I took the time to enjoy the weird in-betweens where Pikachu looks more like this.
Well, that was a good snap. There we go. Total feet. Pikachu can stand up on its own. Wait. wait, this is backwards. Oh no. Allow me to fix that.
Eventually, Pikachu got to have its head back, and then it was time to build the tail. There are 2 different attachments you can build for it depending on its gender, and much like all my plushies as a kid, I've decided this one's a girl. With Pikachu complete, I sped through assembling the Pokeball, built the Thunderbolt stand, which was really satisfying honestly, and this set is done. This one did give me some trouble here and there, mainly because I didn't secure certain pieces properly.
No, your foot is gone!
But it looks pretty solid. I think my favorite is still Eevee just because it's Eevee and I like its face a lot, but this thing looks awesome in person. Last but definitely not least, especially in terms of the number of pieces, is the trio of Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise.
Let's get this on here. That is massive. And for comparison,
with a staggering 6,838 pieces, this thing is no joke. Inside the box are 3 more boxes, one for each of these Pokemon. Pretty sure you can pick your favorite and work on that first, but I decided to go in order based on the number on each box, meaning we'll be going with Venusaur, Blastoise, and then Charizard. Similarly to the Pikachu set, the base is pretty easy to build compared to the Pokemon itself, so it's nice that we started out by working on the scenery this Venusaur will be standing on. While I don't have that many stories with Venusaur, Bulbasaur was my first shiny Pokemon in Pokémon Go, and over time, this Pokemon has grown on me. I've never used Venusaur in a playthrough, but I'd love to change that in the near future, so stay tuned. Also, hi, Editing Catherine here, just here to intercept and say I got a shiny Bulbasaur today. By accident, might I add, I was not hunting, so I think that's a sign. My favorite part of the Venusaur section was definitely adding all the flowers and greenery to the base, probably the most easygoing part of this set. This Venusaur is huge, and it's got some heft to it. It took so long to build, and I was so worried about breaking it, so when I decided to showcase it on my little turning platform, I was just standing there with my hands out, just waiting for something to happen, and thinking to myself, yeah, I'm not gonna do the same thing for Charizard and Blastoise. Now, by the time that I got to work on Blastoise, the LEGO set's officially released, which meant I could use the digital guide as well. Super useful and really nice in case you want an extra pair of hands to speed through the build. I did end up having an extra pair of hands to help me out with the base for Blastoise while I worked on the Pokemon itself. Because I realized, yeah, I'm a really slow builder. I take my time. And apparently that time is like multiple days. Squirtle was my first partner Pokemon I ever went with. And I know it sounds a little silly, but as a kid, I thought the name was referring to Squirrel Turtle, because to me, its tail was very squirrel-like. Either way, I loved this Pokemon, and at one point, I evolved it into Blastoise and taught it Skull Bash. We're definitely not teaching this one Skull Bash. I am not fixing that. I was very clearly the slower builder here, but I like to think that I don't make nearly as many mistakes as a result. Because while I was working on Blastoise, somebody else built Charizard's face in a very special way. Maybe he just wants to sniff something over on the side? I don't know. Anyways, I completed Blastoise, gave him a little spin because, dude, it looks so cool. After that, I put all of Charizard's limbs together and eventually fixed the face. Though in all honesty, I did not notice until like 5 minutes after. After many hours, the set is complete. This thing is absolutely massive, but it feels so good to have completed this build. Between the 3 Pokemon, Blastoise was my favorite to build, but the base for Venusaur was quite satisfying to make as well. And also building Charizard's wings, there's something about it. And there you have it! All 3 LEGO sets are complete. Thank you again to the LEGO group for sending these my way, and thank you for watching! I hope you enjoyed this rather unconventional video. If you're new and want to see more Pokemon content, consider subscribing. But either way, thanks again for watching and stay hydrated.